Innocent K. Ado says, indeed, Uncle
Innocent
Andy's looking fly.
Yes.
Innocent K. Ado.
But check this out, too. You know, this thing Andy's doing right now, it be strategy.
Andy
No, but this thing, let me explain. It be strategy. Andy wanted to get up for people to actually
Yeah,
they said that in the way. But he needed some form of, some move to just establish the but that's fine. So today, that's good. Today, you'll be pandit. All right, Bulldog, let's go.
Today I'm hosting the show.
Andy will just read
It's clear my bestie don't want that.
Afrobeats will not reign forever.
Where's Bradash?
Unless renovated with time. This was said by legendary Rocky Dawuni. Robert. Robert. Let me start with you, Robert.
But first, let's listen to what Rocky had to say.
Okay. In America, right before Afrobeat came, there was something called reggaeton.
Okay.
Reggaeton was a fusion of dance.
Daybreak hits.
With a bit of before Afrobeat came. There was something called reggaeton.
Okay.
Reggaeton was a fusion of dance hall, Jamaican dance hall, with a bit of Latin music in it. And reggaeton took off and seized the American radio for a long time. Even, and a lot of huge stars came out of that part of the world. But what I'm talking about is these global sounds all of a sudden coming, but then they have a shelf life. You see, it's not going to be forever. You see, so when the time is, the innovations have to come. The innovations is what is going to make sure there's longevity. But if everybody's doing copy one way like that, it's going to burn out really fast. And I feel that is why it's great that Afrobeat is the first punch across in the internet age, and I feel that we should make sure that we rebrand ourselves with a style and start pushing that.
Daybreak hits.
Okay, Robert. I think we heard legendary Rocky Dawuni. But there's a point he made, and I want us to get that point before we start the argument so we don't throw it. He spoke about shelf life, which means it will not last on the shelves, as in like it won't be there all the time for people to purchase, if I understand. So as in stores, because I as the host today,
you need to emphasize that.
Yes. We'll disagree a little with him because reggae is still here, highlife is still here. So where is Afrobeats going, Robert?
First of all, when you used to be a pandit, you were not speaking this way. I don't know whether something is choking you.
No, when you're on the seat.
No, hold on.
You need to slur.
Please relax. Andy doesn't slur.
He does.
Authentic. So this comic relief of a language you are using right now, Charlie, you are going to confuse. Good. Because you are going to, and you have to learn to shout. You are going to confuse the listeners. Please come again.
Okay, so I'm saying that he said.
Now you can hear you.
So he's talking about shelf life and the fact that it won't be marketable. That's if I understood him right. It won't be marketable all the time, and that we should find other genres to delve into. But like I say, I slightly disagree with him because reggae as a genre of music is still here. Highlife is here. The jazz is here. All that stuff is here. So this can be an addition. I only understand him when he says the shelf life. It means at a point another genre will take over in terms of sales. Everybody will want it. Everybody will want to run for it. If that's what he meant, then I understand that. But as in the music dying out completely, or not living, or but so let's have a discussion. Robert, what do you think?
Okay, so I think when you take just the shelf life, like you mentioned, you may probably we'll be doing a little bit of disservice to the conversation because it's everything he said was in like there are paragraphs, there are precedents in terms of premises for what the things he's saying. Now, the big thing here is okay. Let me just come back. One of the topical conversations going on in the US is the fact that R&B is dead. They have been saying it. They've been discussing it. I've listened to it on the Oprah Winfrey show. I've heard Puff Daddy talk about like over and over again. At some point, they even said that Tyrese came to save R&B over a particular period. So I've heard that over and over again. In fact, one of the latest convos I heard is the fact that one of the killers of R&B is hip hop, because when hip hop started, it started doing a lot of sampling, and it was based on the sampling that hip hop gained, its stance and became like an acceptable genre, so to say. And they gave traces and all of that, and you could clearly see that. And most of the people that I read the comments, and you could see people agreeing and people using that as a basis for the conversation and stuff like that. So it is possible for you to have a genre and a genre will eventually die. So that's all I want to say. So if it talks about shelf life, it simply means that at the end of the day, it is true. It may not necessarily have happened to everyone, but it doesn't also necessarily mean that R&B is completely dead. But in terms of what it used to be as compared to now, something else may be, being in the forefront. But for me, I think that the conversation, the thing that he said that really is interesting is the fact that is that if it does not have innovation, if things don't change, meaning that things don't have to remain the same way. Why? Hip hop is like 49 years old. The very first version of hip hop we heard is not the same version of hip hop you're hearing today. It may have started from a particular way, but if you go and check hip hop sub-genres, you will have not less than 5 sub-genres of hip hop, meaning that hip hop is not just one sound, multiple sounds. What we have failed to do, for example, is to have a high life music and have sub-genres under it. At some point, we were saying Bullgod high life, we were saying this, we were saying that, and that could have happened, because indeed, Afrobeats is if you type hip hop right now, they will tell you that the parents' genre of hip hop is if you type hip hop, the parent genre of hip hop, one of them is R&B. In the same way, the parent genre of Afrobeats is also highlife, and then other mixes that you can have from Nigeria. So there are different mixes that basically creates what we experience as Afrobeats. Now, there's one thing I like about what hip hop has done, and I think that at the end of the day, it sits on what Waki Dawuni is saying. Music should not go alone. Music should go as culture. When we encountered Jamaican music, we encountered their lingo, we encountered their dance, we encountered their sound, we encountered fashion, and we encountered other things that all came from Jamaica. When we encountered hip-hop, we encountered the lingo, we encountered breakdance, we encountered graffiti, we encountered MCing, we encountered the music, the lingoing, everything that came, the DJing, all of that, even clothes, fashion, beatboxing and everything, it came with all of that. So they even call it a hip-hop culture. Afrobeats is running. We should not allow the sound to go alone.
But we have the dance to it.
Yes, but we should embrace it. It should become part of our conversation every day. The Afrobeat is not just a music, but it's a culture. You understand? Because there is a dance that until you are from this part of the world, you are not able to express yourself positively on that particular dance. I've seen Chris Brown do some things that, they try to call, they catch there. You understand what I'm saying?
Don't you think it's a good thing that the Chris Browns and the Ushers are trying to do? It means that the dance culture is gradually being merged with the sound.
Good, and that's what's supposed to be. But it should not end there. They should run together. So like on the various stages, let us also see the dance represented when we have these huge opportunities.
Burna Boy does that.
You understand? And that is why I also love what Usher did. Even though, because they said they wanted to have the song Year performance done with an Afro dance twist, and that was good. And right now, go see Revolts, owned by Puff Daddy. They posted that particular thing. People are giving remarks like crazy. I even went to share my remarks about the names of the dance moves that were executed, pointing them that it came from Ghana. Nice. That kind of stuff. I'm loving it. But the other things that remain, like fashion. What's happening to fashion? We can write on this with fashion. But again, even beyond this, I just don't like the conversation being for musicians and whatever only. You see, R&B started as racial music. Marketers came into the space and they started calling it R&B. But today R&B is taught in schools. There are people teaching. There are bloggers talking about it, media houses talking about it, people teach. Afrobeats must move from, it originated here and staying there. No, in our schools, we must start teaching it. Like, every part of the ecosystem needs to hold it so that we can run with it. Then it becomes a huge culture that people are learning of it. Because right now, at this point, in this particular set of music, we are not takers, we are givers. And because we are givers, we need to give off everything, information. Like, people need to keep coming here to come and learn. The aspects must come from here always. Because if we don't have that, people will start educating us about our own stuff. We'll go out there and read about Afrobeats when we are the originators. But as an originator, you can't, keep your hands folded. We need to, move on, like share, give, drive the agenda. Everybody has to put, their hand in it. And that's how we need to be able to grow this thing. That's the innovation I'm looking for.
Andy, you want to share some
with what Robert just said about we being the originators, I think that may also be a problem. That entitlement, we, as it stands, a lot of us, in fact, 90% of us think the Afrobeat has been captured by Nigerians. And so once it is theirs, we shouldn't be too attached to it. Otherwise, we will lose our roots. I don't know if you've noticed it. And so most of us, including presenters, I'm not leaving myself out, think that, it's a Nigerian thing. Why are we drumming Afrobeat while highlife music is ours? And we need to champion highlife music to at least be at par with Afrobeat. But truth be told, now we can't compete. So it's better we join the train.
It's not even about now we can't compete. It's
about
about
what you said.
But what about, let's even trace it back to history. Blues came from the Black Americans. R&B also came from the Black Americans. At the end of the day, hip hop also came. But they don't say because somewhat like let's allow all of these things to grow. If you have an economy that can take care of everything.
But that's the chance now.
Give life to highlife.
You are advising, but that's not what it is. Do you understand?
But you see, that is for some people who probably have platforms. Those who consume music are not really concerned about some of the things that we talk about it too. Like all the politics. Those who are consuming music.
They are influencers. So look,
I get it.
The things we sit here and say, those are the things people take home. Do you understand? Sit here and say that Bulldog here is not a good host. Henceforth, people will start drumming it on social media, whether he is good or not. They will say, take him out because, he's not good. Because the right people are using their voices to influence them, saying that he is a bad host. And it will fall in their ears and they will run with it. And that is what is happening. People think it's a Nigerian thing. Afrobeats, they created it, let them take it away. Then the lesser voices are saying, not even the strongest voices, the least ones are rather saying, even Fela came here, learned it, took it away, and mastered the craft and themed it.
Good. You see, that's where I was coming. It's a theme because the music really, there's no difference with what we're doing and what they're doing. It's just the name.
Right.
I want us to pause on this part. We'll come back. But you said something about fashion and the fact that we need to include it. Now, I mean, on the stage with Asha, DWP...
Your artist.
Yes. DWP was wearing Ghanaian-made stuff. Ria, what do you think the fashion community needs to do to now inculcate what they do into the music space, as in the Afrobeat space, so they don't get...
Now there's a host.
So they don't get lost in the story.
I think when it comes to fashion, I would like to commend the likes of KOD for bringing up Rhythms on the Runway, where he calls on different fashion designers from all over Ghana, Nigeria, Ivory Coast, wherever it is. They come and then they exhibit, and then he makes people perform one of his friends, like the industry guys, perform. Some of them walk on the runway. It's all part of building the culture. I think I remember during the Year of Return, he had the Year of Return edition where, you know, all our diasporan brothers and sisters came, sat in the audience. So I think but he can do as much as an individual. Okay, so I think Ghanaians should support, and also other fashion designers should at least buy from what he's doing to, you know, add to the culture, basically, because I think he's doing a very fantastic job. Now, Rhythms on the Runway is an event to look forward to when you come to Ghana during December. And I think he's about to have it again. So I think he spearheaded it. And it's a movement that is starting. You know, you have to start from somewhere and end somewhere. So yes, it's happening.
Just to follow up with the question, do you think he has to deliberately weave in the fact that the style, the fashion, you know, goes with the music, where maybe you have usually when you go to these fashion shows, you have night where swimwear. Do you think he should create?
Yes. Because even in Nigeria, I think they have Arise Lagos or something like that. I think 2 years ago, Naomi Campbell worked for them, and they incorporate Nigerian music, the gele, everything. They come and dance shaku shaku and all those things. So I think it is deliberate that they add the music. When you add the music to automatically, it adds to the lifestyle. I'm not saying that it automatically becomes a lifestyle, but it adds to it. That it's a vibe, like everybody says these days. Like you're giving the vibe of Afrobeat, you're giving the vibe of Africa, the new Africa. Yes, and I think Fuse ODG too with his merch and the dolls, and it's coming together.
Martinez,
boss.
So I'm thinking of something that she said right now. So imagine Rhythms on the runway this year. I think it's in November. You do all your walkway, whatever, the catwalking and all that. Then you have a dance group. You know, not necessarily the DWP or any other group. You know, like you get a large number of them to now be clothed, you know, by one of or himself or any other fashion designer to now concretize the thing. So instead of them coming on to do just your catwalk, you have like 20 or 30 minutes of like dance back to back Afrobeats, and they are in different clothing. I'm saying that. Do you see something like that? Do you think it should be that deliberate, like, so we know that this is what is going to happen, this is what the culture looks like?
Yeah, I agree with you, because look, a lot of people like dance, especially when you watch music video. What really entertains us is that dance move, which, you know, you have the artist or maybe dance group performing. Let's look at artists like Michael Jackson, Usher, Chris Brown. You know, most of them, when they are on stage, they're able to throw the fans with, you know, the dance move. So I think inculcating such idea will help. At least it will not just be watching just a catwalk, but people will really be enjoyed. And, you know, dance catches attention. There might be some people who might actually be there, but, you know, doing other stuffs on their phone or not concentrating. But when there's any dance move, or when there's, you know, that group you're talking about, like giving a solid performance with regards to dance, definitely it will just, you know, grab people's attention. People will fall in love with it. That will give it a certain face, a certain picture. And I'm very happy these days dancers are giving that space, because back in the day, Party is one dancer who really entertained us, especially with music videos. I don't know where he is now, but
It's
Party.
Party.
I think it's in Europe.
Chilling.
Okay.
So, okay, go on.
Yes, and artists like Castro, you know, a lot of people like him because of his dance move when you watch the videos and all of that. So when you involve dancing, I mean, it's not a wrong deal or it's not a bad deal. That will even shoot up the brand itself. So I agree that when you're able to give that group, I mean DWP and high schools, there are a lot of dancers. In fact, we should open that gate for dancing to become a career. Although we are seeing it, but there's more room for improvement. I mean, a program like Dancetera, I was enjoying it. Yes, when it started, because sometimes you get bored, but when you see those kind of moves, it's really entertains you and make you happy. And it's a talent. We need to understand. A lot of people are raking in cash. There's this group I love so much, Jabberwockies. There was a dance competition, the America Best Dance Crew, which I used to follow the reality shows, and I think the Jabberwockies won the season 1.
I love the Diasa ladies.
Good, fine. Because of
what?
They are hosting.
Yeah, so elsewhere it's a big deal, and I think we need to open the gate for a lot of dancers, like those who have that as talent, who wants to be great dancers in the world, at least to put Ghana on the map. So that wouldn't be a bad move.
Okay, so Andy, there's a question here. I'll come on to that, but you earlier spoke about the fact that we should watch and this is actually the same question. They say why we keep talking about Afrobeats, but how can we also make sure that we don't lose our indigenous highlife music? Now, before you get to that, why can't we just join the bandwagon? I believe that it is what is hoisting Africa high now. Why should we have a different conversation? And why can't we just join that bandwagon and still push highlife, as a subgenre, or I don't know, why can't we just, join the force? And
it's not just about joining the force. Go to Nigeria, ask Flavor, Davido, I don't know if I've heard Burna Boy talk about highlife, but most of them, Wizkid. So which kind of music do you do? What's the music you're doing? Highlife. They all claim they're doing highlife. Yet the international world is drumming on Afrobeat. Now it looks like almost all of them are poking into it. Pop Daddy, all of a sudden, it's all about Afrobeat.
Crazy.
Afrobeat. Afrobeat. Crazy. Not only him, all of them. And they keep merging, they keep recording, collaborating.
Chris Brown.
All of them.
Burna Boy actually says he does Afrofusion.
Afrofusion. Meanwhile, his music is Afrobeat.
You see, look, sorry.
For all you know, he's trying to also create a genre.
I want us to actually even go back and even listen to Fela. Yeah, Fela himself, really what he was doing was jazz. Go and listen.
So back to what I was saying, parents. The parents' genre.
Yeah, because
something influences something.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because knowledge is built on knowledge. You create something out of something, not out of nothing.
Nothing good.
Yeah, so something inspires you and informs what you're doing, and it puts inspiration, and then you synthesize, and then you eventually have something new. But for me, the thing is, one person cannot create a genre.
One person can create a genre.
No, one person can be the founder. But for the genre to come to existence, into prominence, accepted, it has to be supported by
I don't even
the
think one
masses and
person,
the
can be a founder. You can name it. It's themed.
Okay,
Themed,
so let's just say themed.
Yes, because
okay,
the music is playing already.
For example, Teddy Riley created New Jack Swing. He created it. He founded it. He fathered it. Do you understand? And then people, because of the sound and the kind of productions he churned out, people joined in. Now, people were, Babyface and the likes were all producing in that era, and they joined in. And that was how New Jack Swing came to bear. I think that if someone creates a melody or a different sound, let's say if Amada, that producer, decides to, like what Mr. Easy was doing, Banku music. If Amadan says, I'm bringing back Azonto, this time I'm not just making it a dance. I'm creating a sound, which the boy gave us a new sound. I don't know if we all remember. Amadan's sound was different. Yeah. Right? Some indigenous Ga, like what JQ was doing. Yeah. Ga meshed with highlife, some guitars, something new. Now, while people joined in and were biting them off, all of these things, now I come to what you are saying, that different people there's an umbrella, so it spreads. Now, as people start tapping in, then the thing comes to fruition. Do you understand? So with that, I may agree with you and not totally disagree with what you're saying. Because look, if someone if someone is a founder, then people tap in, it starts spreading.
Yeah. So, so that happened. I have asked a couple of times that how many people are doing what we call Afrobeat without the S right now, and who are the consumers? The Afrobeat without the S, which is from Fela. I'm asking how many people are doing it, and how big is it?
No, unless it's children. Maybe. Maybe.
So I know a few people are doing it, but it's not heavy. The Afrobeat with an S, which we can clearly trace our history to, because we have the DJ Abrantiers who played a role in it,
right.
And we have all the Azonto tracks and everything that, like, you know, we have a stake in that particular history. The definitions that exist points to music from Ghana and Nigeria as the main component. Why do we kick ourselves out?
Exactly.
Assuming this were to be America, so to say, so that we don't have countries, we have different states. And we are saying that, okay, so hip-hop started in New York. So the West Coast contribution to hip-hop, you can't say because it was from the West, so it's not hip-hop. No, West Coast had a different sound. The Dr. Dre Dems in their 80s, but it's still hip-hop. You know, so let's take Africa as Africa. It's Afrobeats.
Listen, you know, fantastic comparison. So it was the speed that they. This is an example. The East brought it. They didn't just sleep on it, but the West came and then to the next level. This one, like the Nigerians are doing, they've taken it to a different level.
Yes, so let's manage the two.
Exactly, because for me, Afrobeat or Afrobeats simply means beats from Africa.
Simple.
And it is us, you know, so we shouldn't, that politics, you know, and that's what kills us all the time. You know, so I think we should look at it and run with it. It will help all of us, you know.
At this point,
yes. No. Let me just say today there is host.
No, I mean the host has to speak.
Yes, I have to speak. Let me speak.
So you have to make money.
Listeners, please let me make some small money. Host, please. Do I have your permission?
Go.
Thank you very much.
Redash.
To Mr. Lawrence.
Some instrumental underneath the.
Please, won't you buy the instrumental?
Yes, please.
No, we want Lala. We want
You
Lala.
have the instrumental for Lala. Play that as well. You know.
Lala invites the checking.
Please, I'm hosting.
The testing.
Listen, Mr. Hagler, I don't. This recalcitrant
pandit or guest.
Occupant.
Occupant.
Oh, okay. Now let's say a big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise. Listen, when it comes to mobile phones, the whole of Africa, no one beats it. Please do not take any Franco Trading number on Google. Please don't take any number from Google. Call them on 0246 422 338 or 0555 93 11 or visit www.francotrading.com. Franco Trading Enterprise, still phone Papa Fee. Papa Smanches, I can hear myself. Papa Smanches, yesterday you didn't come.
Did you invite me?
Sure. What did Kosiano McCoy in bread before? Yo, that was some munches, man. You didn't feel that munch yesterday when I was munching on bread.
With pepper and egg.
Okay, so here's what. Even though we are not the founders, we are going to name it Andy's Munches.
Charlie, that was some good recipe. Charlie, yesterday I really enjoyed it.
So you guys did that in my absence.
Yeah,
Who told you to
were you not on TV?
Were
Were you not on TV? Make you not bring yourself. We are watching you. Telescope day your top everywhere you
You
go.
see how we pound on you? You hide under the table.
Order from any of the branches. Please call or dial *844*10# and they'll deliver right at your doorstep. Vodafone Cash. If you need cash on your phone, even if it is 1 Ghana and you need more, let's say you need 100 Ghana cedis worth of airtime, Overdraft enables you to complete your Vodafone cash transactions by allowing you to access additional funds needed to complete the transaction. It is simple. Dial *110#, select option 5 and follow the prompts to opt in. When I'm on people's statuses and I see Vodafone credit needed, please, who are you asking?
People do that.
Yes.
Wow.
Vodafone airtime needed, please. Vodafone airtime. Credit needed, please. For you to do what? And there's this guy who's always posting stuff. Some.
But what stuff?
Oh.
You are stammering. You are stammering.
I'm
stammering.
Fridays. Something on Fridays, you know. And what's up with people and Fridays postings? Charlie, Friday, bien. Hey. That be on Friday. Bonongwa. I don't know. Oh, we are not sure. If you want to watch more, send credit. Wow. Please, if you need credit, dial *110#, select option 5, and you get overdraft. Don't come asking for credit, please. Now, betway is for the love of the game. We need money. Today there's a match, Chelsea versus Barcelona. AC Milan. Tough match. Today I watch. I don't know who I'm supporting. I just want to watch. If I support any team, they will lose. So I'll just watch. Visit www.betway.com.gh and you make some good money. 16.5 million Ghana cedis. You heard that right? 15.5 million Ghana cedis. I'm not sensationalizing it. I'm being factual. And this has been asked by the Ghana Gaming Commission of Ghana.
Ghana Gaming Commission of Ghana.
You see, if you are not hosting,
There are a lot of Ghanaians.
if you are not hosting, you make too many mistakes. That is allowed. Simple.
Guys,
Before you continue, please let me say a big shout out to Jake of Franco Trading head office. Sagla said he sorted him out with a new phone.
Wow.
Yes, when his old Samsung got spoiled. Marketing manager Jake. We all have problems with our phones.
I was about to say exactly the same thing. Hey, Jake. So sort all of us out.
And I say,
Nice.
yesterday the money you sent, that was what I used to enjoy the breakfast. Because Siana Makoni Brodo. Yeah. And I sorted everybody. DB.
Guys, there's a story doing some rounds, you know, so I want us to look at it. And it's Amrado receives calls to change the release date of his Gina album.
For what?
So the story goes as such. Let me read.
When you sit inside, you for be controversial. For what?
No,
I'm right there.
No, I go.
Yeah, to that bulldog.
No, there's a paragraph where I'll be controversial.
Eh.
Award-winning rapper, I'm reading, Amrado on Monday morning announced that he will not change the date for the release of his maiden album titled Gina, despite several calls to postpone plans due to the choked system. The month of October has witnessed Black Sherif releasing his 14-track album, The Villain I Never Was, a project that has received positive hype and feedback from music lovers. Also, dancehall singer. Oh, why? Why is everybody dancehall singer? And I know he's listening. Shatawale is lacing up to release his much anticipated Gift of God album, which took him 3 years. 3 years to produce. According to Amrado, some persons have urged him to cancel plans through, although he has communicated October 25th. And October 25th is Vanilla's birthday as the release date. They believe the projects from his colleagues will steal the shine from his maiden studio album. Reacting to the calls in a post on Instagram, Amrado declared that there is no need to postpone his album, adding that there is space for everyone to shine in the local industry. He wrote, and I quote, "Some way, change the date, and I say, why can't we all win? Yes, my God is never asleep. Quoting the album Gina. He go over them. Rhea, I start with you.
Yes, please.
Do you think it's a good call? Or
I get some of the people who are telling him to withdraw. I get their frustration because these are heavy giants that are releasing their albums, you know, at the same time. Okay, and Amrado is relatively new. I mean, if he had a machinery Black Sherif had behind him, it wouldn't have been a big deal because at the end of the day, they were going to sort out the distribution and the airplay and all that. But unfortunately, he doesn't have that machinery and he's about to churn out the album. So I get their frustration, but he is also confident about the work he's about to put out. So if he wants to be strategic and release it around the same time, sometimes it's healthy competition. All right, to know, to see your standing, to know if you can go boot for boot with some of the legends and, you know, his partner, which is Black Sherif. And sometimes too, it's also fine to, you know, have the back seat and also strategize your market penetration. So I think there's no win or lose in this situation. He just needs to strategize right, and if he feels like he can compete with them, why not?
Martinez, what's your say on this issue?
But I agree with him that there's a space for everyone to shine the local market. Those calling him to postpone the album should stop. They should allow him to be himself. It looks like it's a season of album release, and definitely we will discuss them. So if he's also released an album, it qualifies to be discussed. So for me, those asking him to postpone because the system is choked and blah, blah, for what? I mean, he's an artist. And let us also not forget that Amrado has gained some grounds. He also has a strong following. And so his fans are also anticipating.
Definitely.
And so when he releases it, they will also grab up. And for me, I think they want to somehow carry his shine. That's how I see it. Because if the guy has planned a date for his release, and you are calling him that maybe others might be a threat to his, could it not be that his will also be a threat to others? Because maybe when he releases and the songs are banging, probably it might also take shine from what we are talking about now, or those who are gaining the attention or gaining the recognition. So I look at it from that angle. Maybe they are scared he's also going to steal the attention from others. But in all, no one has a right to stop someone or convince someone to postpone a release of his song or album. It doesn't make sense. Let him release. We know Sarkodie was released in November. Let the masters play the game and let's discuss. If you are fit and you think you also have the balls to release an album, go ahead and do it. Even Bobo and Co, they should all release. Let's see whose album will do well. Let's discuss. For me, it's a win, even if you release an album, because look, it's not easy to make one, or it's not easy to produce an album. And so whoever is able to release an album, I mean, we need to congratulate the person. So for me, I'm solidly behind him. I'm rather go ahead and release your album. We will follow you, and whatever being the discussion, I'm sure it's gonna win.
Andy.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you are a CEO of a label, Sky Entertainment.
Yes, sir.
From a professional point of view, do you think, or how important is timing when it comes to project releases? I mean, albums and all that. What would you?
Timing is everything, and it's very important. excuse me, that you strategize before you release any product. For example, in a very competitive era. In Amrado's case, I will urge him on to release. He is not in competition with anyone. If Sarkodie is releasing his Jams album on in November, Black Sherif has already released this album. Why are people calling Amrado to pull back or relax? Who is he competing with? He's not in competition with anyone. again, even if there's another rapper, his my guy, the one he was beefing with, Lyrical Joe. If, for example, Lyrical Joe is even releasing on the same day, and Amrado is releasing, surely they all have different fan bases, and so music is like food. Do you understand? If it feeds me, if I feel like, yo, this will make me feel good, I will enjoy it. That's what I'm going for. For example, Kanye West and 50 Cent pulled out a prank, a strategic marketing plot on the same day releasing. There was a bet that he said if Kanye sells more than him, he will stop doing music. And yeah, Kanye sold just it was just a slight margin, although he beat him. And for sure, Kanye will certainly beat you in America. You beat
At the time, Kanye was not Kanye.
He was Kanye.
Okay, I won't say it wasn't Kanye, but it wasn't like today's Kanye.
The billionaire Kanye.
You know, because
he was a hustler at the time, but he would certainly blow. A producer, a proper producer who had released or produced chart-topping hits. 50 had given us, 2 albums already or something, which even with second album wasn't as stronger as his Get Rich or Die Trying album, which was debut, right? Now, if you're competing with somebody like Kanye, if let's say Sark comes up with Amrado, and Amrado is bragging that, look, if Sark's Jams album is released on the same day and he can beat me to it, I'll stop doing music. Imagine the kind of hype or the anticipation it will be. But in a country where na fan base, we will rise against you and be insulting you here and that, we don't really understand Sanya Maniamawi. Even the artists themselves, if you are not careful, hey, you know the respect. When you come, you they compare yourself, really, this guy, hey, really? If it's a Black Sharif, still you get people to say it. However, he will beat you anyway. Yeah. If Amrado comes up and say, or Black Sharif comes up and say, and you say you are releasing, okay, me too, I'll release on that day. Let's see. Imagine the anticipation it will be. For me, I think Amrado should release.
I get it, but again, I mean, and Robert, this goes to you. Patronage, you know, is very important, and I know we have different fan bases. Andy clearly said that. Do you think that, I mean, with everything, with all these giants releasing, you know, that some have released already and some are about to release, you think that the patronage that Amrado would want or will deserve, whether he's going to get it?
Every artist that is established must have a community backing to warrant you being established. It means you must have your fan base. When you release music, first of all, it is for your fan base. Then it is for people who are not necessarily within your fan base, but are going to become your new targets that you want to win over, so that you can increase and expand your fan base. So if Amrado, we all know, is doing rap-related music, and he's got his clear targets, and he's releasing his music for them, and he's going to work out his new targets in terms of international and places he wants to go to, then I don't see why he can't do that. If Shatta is releasing a track, releasing an album, we all know that because it's the African dance hall, we know that, yes, we know that we are going to be getting dance hall elements. But again, he said a couple of times that he plays in multiple fields. So there may be other songs.
I think he's also said he's not releasing the album for us. It's for the Shatta fan base.
Yeah, so everybody who is part of the Shatta fan base, who loves the Kakai, and you know what I mean? Yeah, we go jump to him. So yeah, we are also waiting for that. So all I'm saying is, like, in terms of target wise, there are different groups. However, one music does not make a playlist. The DJs want a playlist. The people on this particular radio station who has going to play the songs, they want a playlist. Me, I want curated playlist, a bit of this, a bit of that put together. I want buffet. I don't want just one kind of music. You understand? And there are many people like me, and there are many people who also want to probably listen to albums as well. We understand. So
Salad
there's
of
room.
music.
Exactly. So there's room for everybody. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, if you have your targets, if you have your markets, and you know that there's not going to be crowding out effect because the giants are not so many, but different targets, and you are clear on exactly where you want to push your stuff, I don't see anything wrong with that. Once you've worked out your strategy, why don't you go ahead?
Beautiful submission. Andy, just to come back to what you said, you know, when 50 and Kanye went head to head, I can tell you confidently that that's what has caused 50's career. Because, yes, because he said he was going to stop doing music. You know, the fan base, or industry people, take some of these things heavily.
Oh, but they all knew it was a joke.
Yeah, but up until now, I mean, 50 is not the same 50 from that time. You know, so it's assumed, or there's an assumption, you know, that, okay, because Kanye beat you to it, you know, and there'll be that conversation when he's coming back. So, again, apparently, Wendy is also releasing on the 21st of October.
Wendy Shea?
Yes, Wendy Shea.
Wow.
Yes.
But you see, with Wendy Shea, and releasing an album, one, it comes back to what we were discussing not long ago, that people put out albums, then what? Too many songs, then what? I know someone somewhere may say, yes, as a presenter or as a radio person or as a music person, it is your responsibility or your mandate to know whatever is on the album. When she released an album, Bradash, was it last year? Nice album. But what happened? I was disappointed because I did my part. There was even a song on the album that no one was playing. I think she did a song with Kiddy. Nice song. But I never heard it on any platform.
So that becomes a marketing dip.
Yes.
So the
Promotion and marketing.
That is what I'm saying.
Is released.
Yes.
Yes, fine. And then what happens?
What
Exactly. Yes.
Yesterday I was thinking about something.
Yeah.
Now look, like you want to put out an album, and this is the time you need people. You need to gather all your arms, your arsenal.
Yeah.
You need to gather all your ammunitions. That look, we are going to war, right? Now you need to gather your friends, your enemies. This is the time you need them closer, because baby Bruno, every good musician or every label head starts thinking that look, this is a do or die situation. It's like we're going to vote, we're going to the polls. This is no time for Charlie, let's try, make a try if this album will work. Put it out there. This is your body of work, this is your thoughts, these are your sweat. And so it's something you don't joke with.
So investment is money.
Investment, do you understand? And to do on my own, now so crampa. You know what? This is the time I need you. Your way, they can't fool with me. Or then later I'll deal with you. That's how it's done. It go pay me if Wendy Shea releases an album and just a song springs up and the rest may go down the drain. Not only Wendy Shea, Amrado had already given us few songs off the album because Ubia Boy is on Gina. Some of them he releases and he says off the Gina album. It's giving you a hint that very smart.
Very smart.
Do you understand? Smart move. When Black Sheriff gave us Soldier, he told us that is off the Villain I Never Was album.
Yeah.
So we all knew something was coming up. Right. Sarkodie has given us Labadi off the Jams album. So he's giving us a hint that something is coming up. We've not heard from Wendy Shea yet. Maybe it's also a strategy.
No, I think she's released some visuals.
Yes.
Okay.
For Wendy Shea.
Okay.
Yeah.
The one she was eating in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
That was
Even
another
before that, there was a nice one that she was like seated in like this gold-cluttered seat.
That Profane song?
That Profane song. I'm sure it's on the album. It has to be. It's a good song. It's just the profanity that is. But it's a good song. It sounded
So for
good.
me,
yeah,
it's a very good strategy. Somebody like Wendy Shea, I think with the ladies of our time, she has hits than all of them.
Andy, let me. You said something that's very important.
Yeah.
You said something that's very important. Like we say, you release an album, then what? Now, don't you think that as industry people, as gatekeepers, as people that sit on shows, you don't think that we should have time when an album is released? We should go through the album, like do a proper
Review.
of the albums. I know. I mean, this very show I've done a couple of times with the artists here, but aside the artists coming on the show to now say I'm pushing an album, why can't we like Black Sheriff has an album now? We should be able to discuss it. Maybe in 30 minutes, we shuffle through the songs and, give our views and say, look, go out there, stream. Do the same for...
Today where I sit, let me use this opportunity because on that seat, I don't get the chance to express myself wholeheartedly. I feel like a lot of musicians, and I know that this statement I'm making, blogs or other news portals will pick it up. I feel like musicians are not using radio properly, especially within our space.
No, I think you mean the marketing angle of these things. Go ahead.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
And just before you continue,
musicians
production.
Let musicians do their music.
Listen.
Okay,
I'm not.
go ahead.
Listen, what I'm saying there.
The Hitz FM production crew is considering to do that. So let me just put
No, you see, people forget.
When you
easily.
finish, me, I also come to a part that I think that the radio
during
stations
COVID, the team came up with an idea to review albums. So I remember doing it for a lot of the musicians: Walasi, Shatawale, Samini, who else? Joe Metal, almost every artist that had an album, right? I reviewed almost all of them, unless you didn't have an album. Now, if an artist comes up, I want an interview, give him the platform to have the interview. Right after the interview, end of story. End of story. Especially the up and coming ones. All they need is the platform. Charlie, I beg me, I go get the platform. Please help me. Please help me. The fact that you come on radio doesn't mean that you've blown. There is enough work to be done even after the interview, because once you appear, now the expectations get way higher because we expect you to go an extra mile. The advice I usually give them is that, Charlie, don't let it end here. Once you've had the platform, let it continue, and don't take any platform for granted. And to you, the musicians who take radio presenters or the media for granted, let me put this across. Recently, Mr. Easy paid us a visit. Robert, you were there. Martinez, you too. Mr. Easy made a statement. I want to end on this. Mr. Easy made a statement about a song that he sang for a DJ. Yesterday we mentioned it. That when the DJ asked him to sing the song, he felt like, Charlie, this song,
So he gave it to Joe Boy.
But he said, I did not want to disrespect him. And I said, but he said, the guy said, he not be anywhere. I said, he not be anybody, but not the media. These were his words. And quote me anywhere. Because he said it. He said, hey, we know they play with the media. Come to Nigeria. If we them, they hold we. We know they play with the media. These were his words. Do you understand? It is the media that directs it. If you feel that you don't need the media, do your stuff. Me, that's all I can say. If you feel that this is not the carpet or the proper way to get up there, you do your stuff. It's all good. It's all good. Now, to our fellow or our colleagues who are out there, they met to me, I can say, let me say this in Chi. Penny for say, Sobia Okotu Sobia Boji says, share. No, I sense yes, because you may be next. That's all I'll say.
There are a few messages here. Let's go through them. MNK Quarty says Black Sheriff versus everybody at this point. And Bilal Bilon says, but Charlie, Riyadh and Bullgod go match. What Charlie? You
They will never match.
Oh, Massa.
Yeah, host too.
If okay, so Sappho Alexis says this year is this year is album release year for Ghanaian artists. Great. Then Vincent Vroom says Bullgod is the funniest. Thank you. Kojo Oheniba says you talk true, Bullgod. I think say it be you think say it be easy seat, eh? Then Abe Kusparo says, Charlie, producers with a beg, make Bulldog continue hosting.
Yeah.
Nah,
The whole of the week.
My ass all the payment. Innocent K. Ado says, honestly, Bull is doing well as a host. Kingsley Senior says, Bull is a Homewood. Idris Yusuf, that's my godfather. That's Shatawale's guy. I mean, it's a deportee. Godfather. Says Robert. That Robert guy, Charlie, serious analysis, Charlie. Yeah. And guys, we our time is up. DJ Black has to, do his thing.
I beg, please.
Oh,
DJ Black there before taking 5 minutes, so it'll be normal.
So
It's a
sign
convention.
off. Yeah, so sign off. Sign off.
5 minutes there,
I
normal.
think the discussion should end somewhere. There's the reason why people are calling on others to hold back and all that is because of what is happening around the world. And I think that comparison should not deter anyone. That's where we all want to go. It's where we all aspire to go. But it shouldn't deter anyone from putting out a body of work. And we need to follow up. Like Andy said, you don't just put it out and sit back. Go on every channel and make sure you're pushing it. It might just work.
Yeah, boss, I agree with you. So once you release it, you should know the work has started. And today is Uncle Fredime's birthday. And so a big shout out to him. Happy birthday to him, and may God richly bless his new age. Uncle Fred, wherever you are, God bless you.
Senior.
Yeah.
Senior.
Robert, Charlie, you can't bring some reading. When I see paper and writing all them ahead.
Top two.
And the Franco Trading said they come do reaction.
Wow.
Hey, wow.
Oh, yo.
Franco Trading.
Pow. I mean, pow. Robert,
Yeah, we all.
When?
No be today, relax.
Yeah.
Hey.
No be today. Hey, Charlie, medical too they can release
Album.
I don't know whether it's an album,
That's
but
a
Hey, BGMA.
Charlie, you guys will have a hell of a time with the album.
See, reality is this. Look, everybody's trying to release so that they can cash in on whatever is going to happen in December.
Straight.
If we can flood the radio stations with good music, they can get good inroads. Because you see, nature abhors vacuum.
True.
Vacuum no go exist. If you don't have music that are trending, other forms of Afrobeats will take over. And people will come to Ghana and they will not hear Ghanaian sound. Like some lady said, a lady from YouTube said she was at some radio, what's the name, like a restaurant. And then out of like 10 songs, she had like 7 Nigerian songs. And it was like, am I not in Ghana? You understand what I'm saying? So if we are not going to fill our air spaces with the music that people are looking for, somebody else go do it, because nature abhors vacuum.
You said she was at a hotel, right?
No, like a restaurant or something.
With that, there's a cure to that. Most of these radio stations and restaurants and hotels, what they do is play from the
Apple Music.
Yes, the playlisting. So that's a code we need to crack as Ghanaian music. Once we can crack that code.
But
because you made it sound. Yeah, I know. You made it sound as if we don't have enough.
No.
Music we have. It's just that
like
we don't get the playlist.
Musical.
Yeah.
The music there's always, like he said, there's music, a lot of music that we don't even play off the main album.
Yeah. There are a lot. Yeah.
And sometimes we also need to. So, for example, I was having a conversation with Mr. Drew and the team, and then they said they went to Obuasi, and then they had a playlist of what they were going to play. But when they got there, and then they went to do an interview. Then they realized that
some particular
the songs that the DJs were playing there are not on their list. So they're like,
How?
This is what they have prepared, but it's different from what the guy was playing. So if they hadn't gone for that particular interview, they wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
So then they realized that what is big in Accra, it is not necessarily what is good in another region.
So again, it comes back to playlisting.
Good. And so insights you need to understand. So basically, so those who want to release, I beg, when you release in Accra, you're not done. Carry the project. Go to Kumasi. Go to what you call it, Volta. Go to the other places, and you might not know.
Level. Let's
watch out. Mishasha is coming out again.
Yes, Ria. What's your take on releases and following up?
What's Robert said.
Okay. Andy, what's your last?
Just as I said, Mishasha is coming out with another banger.
Beautiful.
And
that's my girl.
And another kid I discovered on social media. I've started working on his project. His name is Yao Darling.
Wow.
Yeah, watch out for Yao Darling.
Wow.
Yeah.
He was on this platform, right?
Cool.
No, he's never been out. Never. No one has heard of him. He had a name, but I changed the name to Yao Darling.
It's time for somebody to read.
Please.
to
We
match
have
this
to
particular
thank
English.
our sponsors.
Good.
Yes.
Let's
For
match this
ensuring.
Please be quiet.
Yes, let's thank our sponsors
Right.
for ensuring that we are here every single day. Betway for the love of the game. Munchabet. But if you are 18 and below.
Below 18.
No, if you are below
18 and above.
18 and below.
Yeah, if you are
18 and above.
If you are 18, you will play.
Charlie,
Why do you
18
want
and
to say
below.
Above.
18 and above.
I say if you are 18 and below, you no go fit play out.
No, if you
Okay,
are below
Mr.
18.
Host.
Hey, Minisani Pone. Charlie, do your work. Top herbal. A lot of
your
hosts.
mics off.
Top
Discipline them.
herbal clinic. Those who they walk around and your brain they worry you know. Go to top herbal clinic.
Okay.
What you they talk anyhow. You go live on they talk anyhow. Go to top herbal. And they stammer.
When you draw.
Yes. EcoBank.
So seriously, top about it for what?
For your brains. EcoBank has ensured us that in the future they will invest in music. EcoBank, so bank with EcoBank. Duraplast. Those who know they get water for them house. But Nana Akufo-Addo has ensured that there's water in your water. Use Duraplast. Hello, Mali. MTN. Everywhere you go and don't go, we are there. Everywhere you go and don't go.
Even space.
Access Bank. More than banking.
Straight.
More than banking. Awake purified drinking water.
Wake up with a purified
Thank you. If you drink that, you wake up in the morning.
Straight.
If you drink anything else, you die. Ghana Pay. Your money, your way. Great odds. You go feel them. Wow. Vodafone, Ghana. Thank you for ensuring that we have a music space. Your big sponsors of Ghana Music Awards help others too. Thank you. Betway again. Hey.
But
Then the paper.
Vodafone is further together.
Okay. Vodafone Ghana further together. Okay. Betway again for the love of the game. How much yakapa? And Franco Trading Enterprise.
For speed.
Phone papa fee. And the ones who are bringing us the phone. And Papa's Munches. Or you say Andy's Munches.
Yeah. No, this is Papa's.
Papa's Munches.
Andy's Munches is
So thank you so much for allowing us to be here. And God bless you. God bless your businesses. Fruitful week. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Have you taught in a primary school before?
I'm trying to teach.
Martinez.
Catch us again tomorrow. Bradash. Oh, sorry. DJ Black. God bless you for being here. We out.
Thank your producers.
Mr. Hagla, Nana, Kwame, Fly Nima boy and girl.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Yes. It be Fly Nima boy. It ain't Nima. It be they put all the things out. So go find them for Nima.
This is Hitz.